はい、どうも。今回はね、FE 風花雪月のツリーハウスライブをね、見ていきたいと思います。なんとね、任天堂公式ページでね、ツリーハウスライブのね、FE のだけなくてそれで急遽探してきて、どうせだったらね、FE 僕もね、フォドラコレクションの予約したんで、いろいろね情報が知りたいのでね、これを機会にね一緒に見ていけたらいいなと思って今回動画をアップしました。さあじゃあね、ちょっと早速見てみましょうか。
Good morning, everyone. Welcome
は
to
い、
Day
そ
2
れで
Nintendo Treehouse
今
Live
回ね、
2019. I am here
ちょっ
with
と待って、
Audrey
字
and
幕
Roxy,
出るか
and
な。
we're here to talk about Fire
全部
Emblem
ね
Three Houses.
英語なんで
I made it.
基本的にね見て楽しんでいこうと思いま
Let's get
す。
the show on the road. So we are a
はい
professor
という
in
こ
the
とで、
monastery, and this is 5 years before
まずね
things got
ア
a
カデミー
little
の中だねこれ。
rough for our students, but
いや
Audrey,
ーこ
could
れ
you
ね
tell
ア
us some
カ
more
デミー
about
ねめ
the
ちゃめちゃ
story
広そう
for
だよ
our
ね。
audiences back at home?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm
鳥も
playing
飛
as
んでて
Violet here, and we're at the Officers Academy at Garrickmack Monastery. Don't worry about that green-haired girl in
す
the
ご
room.
い広い
That's
よね
completely
この
normal,
なん
and
だ世
everything
界
is
が。
fine.
なんか今
But
までっ
basically,
て
at the
FE っ
outset of the
て
game,
DS
sorry,
とか
I
で
have to
さ
talk to Bernie
出
here.
てたから
She
さ
says she's got a
久
cold,
々じゃ
but
ん
she's a
据
big
え置きの
liar.
やつで
Bernie's
出るの
actually
さ。
just a big introvert, but it's
なんか
okay.
こ
You
う
can
作
pull
り
her
込ま
out
れ
of her shell
た
over
世界
time.
だよね。
But at the outset of the game, you choose one of 3 houses to lead and to
楽
teach,
器を選ん
and
で
each one
教
represents
え
one of
た
the
り
ruling powers in Fodlan, the continent where this game takes place. So you're not just choosing the students who you want to teach, you may be
生
choosing
徒を選ん
which
で教
side you
え
want to
て
take, and I don't know, an impending war. So we're going to show a few of the activities that you can do here at the monastery.
英語が早くてよ
In
くわかん
there
ねえ
is
な。
the garden. Over there's the fishing hole. But you know what?
フィッシン
I'm
グ
a
ホール
bit peckish. I'm going to run to the
釣り
dining
堀
hall real
釣り
quick.
堀なのかな
That
See what's going on there.
I mean, it's morning for
Dining
us,
hall.
so
It's
I guess
true.
it's breakfast time.
Breakfast is
Breakfast
the most
time.
important meal of the day. So here we are in the
まあ
dining
これはなん
hall.
か
And oh, hello, Dedu.
Investigating Ramire Village.
He's always
VTR
so
じゃねえ
serious.
な。
Come on,
動画の
let's
中
get
に
a
もあった
bite.
けど食事をするんだね生徒と。
Yes. So there are multiple paths
Edelgard
to take in this
と
game.
が
The one we're playing right
いて
now is the Black Eagle path, and this is Edelgard. She's the house leader of
House
the
leader,
Black
学
Eagle.
級
She's
長。
an incredibly important character. I won't spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played the
重
game,
要なキャラク
obviously,
ターで
but
すと。
she has an
まあ重要な
incredibly
キャラクターだ。
compelling and deep backstory, just like all of the characters in this
Deep
game.
backstory.
So I hope you look forward to
深
getting
い
to know her.
バックグラウンドがあるんだね。
But I'm going to jump here.
相当なトラウマを
and
抱えてるとか。
let's see.
シェアミー
Petra
ル。
looks like she really wants to get in on this
Yeah.
meal. That's
Petra.
going to raise her motivation.
She's got that giant happy face.
まあ
so
一緒
like,
に
I'm
食
ready.
事でき
Let's
るん
go
だ
for
ね。
this.
And then it's a
なんか
professor
FE
night
では
mixer, so
あ
I'm
りが
also
ちな
going to invite Manuela to the
コミュニケー
party.
ション。なんかファイアエンブレムイフだとさ、なんか一緒に
And
温
I'm
泉
gonna
入
chow
ってるとこ
down.
もできた
And
か
one
ら
of the
ね。
really cool things about the monastery
FE
activities is
さ、
that
FE の
not
if
only
っ
is
て
it
か
really
な
fun
り
to interact with
か
all
な
of
り
these
攻めて
characters
る
like
よ
never
ね。
before in a Fire Emblem game.
ちょっと別の
Everything you
ゲーム
do
の
has
話に
an
なっちゃうけ
effect
ど
on
さ。
your game. You can see
これも
that
食事シーン
dining
かな
with
りいい
Petra
ね。
increased her motivation. That's going to allow me to
FE
do
の
more
ね、
with
if は
her
か
when
な
we're
り
in the
攻めた
tutoring
コミュニケーションにな
phase.
ってるよ、あ
It
れ。
also
俺もやったけ
gave
ど。
me more points so that my professor
だっ
level
て
went
最
up.
終的に
And
なんか
having
自
a
分
higher
の
professor
家
level
に
means that
家で
you have
さ
more
結婚で
activity
きるんだよ
points,
ね、キ
more
ャラクター
battles you
と。
can do, and you
今
get
回で
more
きんのかな。
gold to spend on those all-important
なんか
vulneraries.
先生と生徒とのなんか禁断の声みたいになるけど
along
さ、
the way.
その場
So
合。
we're doing pretty well here.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
いや、FE のね、if はね、本当に攻めてるよ。あれやった人わかると思うけどさ。本当ここまでやっていいのかっていうぐらい攻めてるからね。
Sweetheart. He actually has a really tragic backstory, but you wouldn't
さ
know
あ、
it
まあ
by
そ
his
の話は
great
置いとい
attitude
て、
and
風花
his
雪月もそ
wonderfully
こまで
ill-fitting
コミュニケーシ
shirt.
ョ
He's just ripping out of that
ン
shirt.
がね、あるの
He
かどう
can't
かって
help
こ
it.
と
His
なんで。
muscles want to be free.
まあ今見た感じだとね、まだいいよ
And
ね。
he's worried
食事
because
一緒に
he
するぐら
ate
い
too
は。
much fish recently, and so now he's worried he'll never
はい
want to eat it again. These are really, really big problems in the academy phase of this game. So right now,
う
I'm
おー、
gonna
す
go
っ
ahead
げえ
and
な、この
fast
細かいマ
travel,
ッ
and
プ。
this is pretty big, so I'm very happy I can fast travel
これ DS ではこ
to
こま
the
では細か
cathedral
くな
here
かっ
and do
た
a
ね。
couple of more activities. And as I said, not only is it great
さあ
to be able to interact with your students and actually run around in a
interact
Fire
with your
Emblem world,
students
run around
だから
these wonderful
まあ
environments.
ここで
But,
生徒と一緒
everything
に
you
なん
do
か
has a practical effect
相
in
互
battle. So all of the
相互
things,
関係
all
っ
of
つ
the
ったらなん
time
か
you're
直
spending
訳
here in
だ
the
けど
monastery is going to go back and help you in
Advice
battle, which is still
box
the core of this game.
Yeah, 'cause, like speaking about
こ
like
こ
the
でア
environments,
ド
it's
バイ
like
ス
there's
す
so
る
much
んだね
detail.
生
It's
徒に
such an
ね
expansive world to
だ
explore.
から
So you'll definitely
生徒
spend
が
a
こ
lot
こ
of
に
time
先生に
not
対す
only
る
in
質
battles
問
but
を
also exploring this
書いて
monastery
それ
world.
に対して
And so this is the advice box, and it's where
advice する
students
と
will anonymously ask you for advice, and you have to kind of,
Advice,
based on your knowledge of those students, guess what would be the answer that makes them happy, so you can
Makes
get
them
support
happy
points with
だって
them. And I
では
correctly guessed that that was
いい答えをすると
Yes, so I completed that
コミュニケーション
quest,
が
and Hilda's now very
上がる
happy
んだ
with
ろうね
me. As I said, all of the different monastery
ワンノー
activities
ティ
you
ス
can
だ
do,
から
as
もう
well
一
as
個あるよっ
battles,
つって
will
んだね
increase your support points, which can unlock support conversations.
Notice
Oh, I know by the hair,
コンテンツ
that's
これなんか
Petra.
シルエット見る
Let's
とあ
see.
のキャラクターだって
She
いうのが
misses
わか
the
るんだろう
sea
ね
because that's where
多分ね
she's from a foreign land and she misses the ocean. Yep.
Nice.
あ
guess.
好感度アップした
Like you played this
OK
before.
グッドレスポンスだ
I
ね
might know these characters a little bit,
なるほど
but all these characters are so lovable, and unlocking support conversations with them is really, really rewarding, especially since what's really dynamic about this game is that there's a 5-year jump at some point.
これはな
So
んだ
you get to see the support conversations that take place in the academy, and then there are also some
Coordinator.
that will only take place
超
after the 5-year jump during the war phase of the game. So you get to see how the war and the events of the game have affected these students, which is really, really compelling. And that's how you get to know them enough to answer these advice box questions.
アドバイスクエ
And
ス
at
チョ
that
ン
point,
ア
of
ドバイス
course,
クエ
after
ス
the
チョン
5-year jump, you can even pursue a romantic relationship with someone. Dimitri. Just saying.
ロマンティックリレーションシップっつってる
He is. Now I'm going to do some choir practice. I chose Dorothea, who's a former opera singer, and Ferdy, who has the voice of an
Singer.
angel. So we're going to do some choir practice.
あー
And
なん
again,
か
like everything at the
なん
monastery,
か上がって
it
るね
has
パ
an
ラメータ
effect.
が
It
ね
raised their faith experience, and I
魔導
got
書
more
みたいなやつ
authority experience as their
かな
professor. So it's another boon to your battle, to your strategies, to the way you're going to be able to
これは
level
ちょっ
up
と
these
よくわかんない
characters.
I'm noting that the game is fully voiced. I really like, yeah, whenever you talk
Game
to
is fully
characters, they are
voiced.
fully voiced and you can really engage
フ
with
ル
them.
ボイスなんだよね
And some folks would be happy
そ
when
う
there's
だから僕もね
dual
思
audio
った
options.
会話してる
So
シーンが
Yes,
さ
yeah,
全
if
部
you
ツイ
want to
ッ
play
ター
the
のやつ
Japanese voices, you
フルボイ
absolutely
スで喋
can.
ってたんで
So we're going to jump into
ジャパニーズ
some
ボイス
tutoring
You
here,
absolutely
and as you
can
can
そう
see,
これなんか
you
チェ
can
ン
choose
ジできるのか
construct
ね
manually
日
or
本語訳
automatically.
に日
One
本
of
語
the
に切り
wonderful
替えた
things
り英語
about
に
this
切り替
game
え
is
た
that
り
it's as deep as
ス
you
マブ
want
ラ
it
み
to
たい
be.
にさ
If you
多
want
言語
to,
対応してる
like
かもしれ
me,
な
I
いね
love
ちょ
to
っと今
pour
ごめん今の
every
英語
single stat,
読
every
み切れ
single
なかっ
unit
た
that
け
I
ど
have, and try and customize it to my heart's content. But if
こ
you're
れ
the kind
は
of player who really
イン
just
ストラク
wants to
ト
race through
だ
the
から
story
教えるん
and
だ
the
ね
battles
生
as
徒
fast
に
as you can, you can
そ
auto
のまあい
tutor,
ろん
and
な
it
武
won't be
器
quite as
のね
effective,
技術
but
を
it
教え
is
る
an
ってい
option
う
if
感
you'd
じなんだ
rather
ろう
not deal with all of this stuff that I
You have
just
two
personally love
sessions
pouring
って書
over.
いてあるね
So
2
for
回
this
教えら
part
れるって
here,
ことか
as you can see, I've set a custom focus for him. You can choose some predetermined
これだから
skill
さ
goals for him,
あの
but
キャ
I
ラク
really
ター
want
に
to make him
対
a
して
cavalier. I
あ
need
の
more
兵種が
movement
決ま
on
っ
my
てるんじゃ
team.
なくて
So I'm going to try and
きっ
increase
と
his
どの
lance
キャラク
and
ターでも
riding
自分が好
skills.
きなよう
He didn't
に
do so well.
その
I
武
could
器の
critique
あの
him,
なんだ
but
ろう
I'm
スキ
going
ル
to
パ
play
ラ
Mr.
メーター上げ
Nice
て
Guy.
It's
I'm
like
going to
good
兵
kill
種を
him.
多分決められるんだろうと思う
And that was the right
わかん
call
ないけ
for
ど
him. He
ここはだって
doesn't
武器全部
respond
表
to
示されてる
critique
から
very well. So let's see. He's still got a bit of a
パラメーター上げていけば
Good
多分何にでもなれん
job.
じゃないかな
And
と
he
思
leveled
う
up in Lance.
Nice.
So
兵種ね
we'll check in a bit, but
今
he
槍が上がっ
just
て
might
る
have
けど
enough of that skill to be able to change class. We'll just have to see. Yeah, good job, Lenny. I'm very,
Motivation
very proud
increase.
of you.
Aw.
And then, oh, he's still got a little bit of motivation. So let's go ahead and work on the
これは多分馬のマークだから
Level up as well.
馬術的なやつだね
All right, things are going well for Lenny. And then let's also check in on Ferdy. He also has a custom focus
こ
here.
いつ
I
は
wanna
まあ
make
斧
him a
が
brigand,
強
mostly
いか
because I
ら
think he
まあ
would
だ
hate
か
the
ら
outfit. So I kind of
どれ
want
かを
to
やっ
force
ぱ
him
集
to
中
it.
的に上げていくんだろうね基本的にはね
That's vicious.
And another skill level up. He's doing really
今
well
C
here.
だから
As I said,
斧レベ
I've
ル
been
C だか
very
ら
focused on
ね
getting all of these
いい
skills up to the level they need
一番下が
to
いい
get the
で
classes that I want.
この辺は
It's
でも
very
同
good
じだ
to
よ
point
ね
out that
い
like
つも
there's
FE の
each
レベル
character
武
has
器
a
レベル
specific affinity for a class, or but you can dictate dictate how you want to play
Skywatch
it, just the way that you want
Right,
to
so
play
together
it's
it.
sort of the
to
synergy of the
secure
rest of your army and how you like to
skies.
play.
Exactly, it's depending
Ah,
on strategy or
二
it's
人
even
で、
dependent on the
今
way
2 人
that
選
you
択
want
し
to
た
play.
わかんないけど
Absolutely.
Together だから多分
Oh, and as you can see,
二
some
人
of
だ
the
ね
students can actually ask you if they want to update their goals, and you can choose
Update
to go
goals.
with what they're looking
フォー
to
カスオンソー
grow
ド
in,
ボスキ
or
ルズフォー
just
カスオ
force
ン
them to become an archer if you want them to be an archer.
エクセルはスナイパー
Here
と
I'm
書いて
going
あ
to
る
leave Ignatz the way he was,
Ah,
just because
now-
I really
目
want
標
him
な
to
んかレベルア
continue
ッ
down
プ
that
し
path.
し
And
ますってこと
actually,
だね。
sometimes if you force a student into
早えよ。
territory
ちょっ
they're
と待って。
uncomfortable with, unfamiliar with, they'll actually grow exponentially in ways that they couldn't have foreseen. See, I'm always forced her
飛んでるね。 これきっと
It's good for her.
きっとこれ
She needs to
ペガサスナイトの
grow
特
and
訓
meet
してんだろう
people.
ね。
She's
こ
a
れね
wonderful young lady.
She needs some fresh air.
Yes,
I
she
agree.
does.
We did it. Good.
And they did pretty well together.
多分今のを
Alright,
鍛え
you
る
can
と
see,
ペガ
again,
サ
you
ス
can
ナイトに
pour
乗れる
over
ようにな
all
る
the
んだろう
screen.
ね。
I'm gonna skip
馬術とは
through it
別
just so that we
に
can
飛ぶスキルは
move
別だってこ
along
とだね。
here,
きっとね。
but
だから
I would normally be looking
結
at
構ね
every
細
single
か
stat and
く
seeing
パラ
how
メータ
my
がある
team
ん
has
だと思う
grown.
んだよ。
Knowing how you've played past Fire
ちょっと
Emblem
ペガサス
games,
ナイトのマーク
I
見えねえ
can
けど
vouch for that.
ドラゴンナイトもそうだ
Alright,
と思うけど。
so now that we've gotten some good skill level ups, I'm actually going to jump into the certification exams here, and that's how you change classes in this
Exam
game.
だから
The really
テスト
cool
だね。
thing is that all
で
characters other than
兵
character
種
exclusive
を
classes can
今
become
ソード
any
が
class.
C をハイヤーだ
So
った
I
ら
can make Lenny. Oh,
あー違え
yes,
な
he has
これには
the
なれんだな
skills that
C
he
を
needs.
ハ
As
イヤ
long as you
ー
have the correct
ランス
skills
とライディング
and they're
が
at the correct level, you can
C
become
レベ
any
ル
class
D レ
that
ベ
you
ルだっ
want.
た
So
ら
he's at
あの
those
多
skill
分この
levels,
兵種に
and so
なれ
I
るってこ
can
とだよね。
finally make him a cavalier.
テストを受け
If he
て
wasn't quite at those skill levels, I could still try the certification exam.
これ失敗するのかね。
I was at 100% chance of passing. If it was a little bit
パ
lower,
ス
it
で
would
出
have
て
been a
る
bit
か
of
ら
a
まあ試
gamble.
験
It
に
might not have
通
worked
る
out
か
for
通らない
me.
かみた
I
いな。
personally like to kind of wait to make sure it's a sure thing. I don't like to
これ
waste
ソ
my
シャルナイ
skills,
トだろう
but
ね。これね
you can roll the dice if you like. It's up to you.
見た目
And
的に。
yes, I would like you to
で
change
チェン
into that
ジし
class.
て
And
ほ
I
ら
do
だ
like
から
that once
こ
you
れ
pass the
今
certification
イン
exam
ター
for
ミ
a
ディアム
certain
に出
job
てるけ
class,
ど
you don't have to keep using
これ
skills if
に
you want to
兵
switch
種
back
多
and
分
forth.
いろんなのになれるんだろうね。
Absolutely. So
それに
let's go ahead and make
似合う
30
パラメータ
breakdance as
を上げ
well.
てれば
He's gonna love the outfit. He'll learn to love it.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, look at
Look at
that.
him styling and profiling.
He looks proud of himself.
かなりその育成のシステム
Yeah, let's keep it that
が
way.
細かいよね。いつもと全然違うね。
All right. So
なん
that
かカレンダーもあるしさ。
that was pretty successful.
なんかこれなんかさ
let's go
恋愛
ahead
シミュレーションゲームでこういうのあったよね。
And
なんかこうカレンダー
let's
でなん
jump into a
か
battle.
そ
Or no, you know
の
what?
自分のなんか
Let's do
パラメータ上げていくみたい
seminar.
な。それがこの場合
Seminars
は
are
そ
a way
の
where
各
you
生
can
徒ごと
learn
に
from
あるか
some
ら
of the other professors or faculty of the
相当
Officers
細かい
Academy.
よね。
Like here, Sisatef is
でセミ
really
ナー
good at lance skills. So if I want to
セミナー
continue
で
to grow
セミナー
Lenny
を
in that direction,
教授を
I can
招い
have
て
him
開
attend
く
one of
と
Sisatef's seminars, and his lance skills will
ランス
improve.
キルズ
Oh, nice.
ビルインプルーブ
It's very interesting that not only are you
あ、槍
interacting
の
with
ス
the
キルとなん
students,
か旗
but
印
you're
のやつ
also
があってたけど
interacting with the staff as well and building those relationships and understanding or learning their personalities as well. Because like just earlier you were having breakfast with Manuelo, who
イン
happens
ストラ
to
ク
be
ト
a
マニュアル
faculty
インストラク
member
トオートマティカリー
within
がある
the
から
Mountain
多
Master.
分自動的になんかインストラクトできるん
So
だ
many
その方が楽な
student,
人はそっちを多分選べ
characters
ば
in
いい
this game, and
細かく
they
なんか
each
自分で
have
さ
such
この生
depth.
徒はこれ
It's
とこれとこれ
really
ってやる
a delight to get
こ
to
とも
know
できる
all
って
of
ことだ
them
ね
throughout the course of the game. Oh, and it's the Holy Kingdom of Fargus founding day today.
でも
And
基
there's
本
a
的に
special
はさ
dish.
なんか
I really want to eat
そ
there,
の
but we,
なん
no,
だ
I'm going to jump ahead so that we can get a look
目
at
標を
some
設定して自動的にインストラクトするってのは楽そうだねなんか細かくさやっていくと大変だから自分の好きなキャラだけはね細かく
I love seeing that level of it.
Yes.
調整して
As a teacher and a professor, it is satisfying.
Oh, and it's Marianne's birthday, and she's a sweetheart, so I'm going to go ahead
まあ
and buy
この
her
辺も多分
flowers.
性格によるん
And
だ
as
ろ
you
う
see, I got
な
support points for that, so good job all around. I'm the favorite teacher, let's be honest.
I do like that you get to interact with students in the other
あ
houses
バトル
too,
あ
regardless
バ
of
ト
the
ルフィール
house
ド
you choose.
バトルフィール
You
ド
have an option to
Mission
interact with them,
と
possibly recruit them.
Yeah, that's
Par-
a great
parallel
point. So
with
you're
them.
not just stuck
Parallel.
within the students that are particular to a house. You could always recruit them over to the house that you're
ま
currently
あなんか
following.
その
Yeah,
いろんなそ
and
の
along those
ミッ
lines,
ションと
I'm
か
about to do a parallel
外伝
battle
的なやつ
that
とか
requires
いろいろありそう
Raphael
だ
and
ね
Ignatz to
クエ
take
スト
part
み
in
たいなや
it.
つ
And Raphael and Ignatz are not actually Black Eagle students. They're both from the Golden Deer, but I loved them so much during my Golden Deer playthrough. I couldn't bear the thought of going on without them, so I acquired the skills as a
なんか
professor
そ
that
の
they
バ
wanted
ト
to
ルの
grow
前にイ
in.
ベン
And
トがあ
since
る
I
ん
was
だあ
able
る
to
あ
do
るみたい
that,
だ
I
ね
was able
今
to
こ
recruit
の感
them.
じだとね
And because I recruited them, I was able to access
いい
this
ね
parallel
リア
I
ルだ
otherwise
ね
wouldn't have been able to play.
ちゃんと
So
前段
I'm
のストーリー
skipping
みたい
right
なの
past
もやっ
this
て ってくれるんだ
story moment
ね。
here so that players can enjoy it at home. But basically, what's happening is that Ignaz and Raphael are from a merchant families, and merchants are being attacked in the Alliance. So they want us to go and help them. And of course, we're going to go help them. We're
Very
heroes
noble
after all.
deed, yes.
Yes.
Doesn't make any. Agree.
平民出身
I just
の
love Raphael.
生徒たちが
So amped.
平民がアタックされるからそれらを助けるっていうミッションだね。ミッションなのかわかんないけど。
And we've seen a glimpse of the calendar a few times, and that's really notable because
なんかミッションとプロローグってやつと
when you take part
なんかいろいろちょっと
in
バト
special
ルにも種類
battles,
があ
when
っ
you
たけ
can
ど
do additional training opportunities, when people's birthdays are, special holidays, tournaments, all kinds of things.
あ
So you
トー
really
ナ
want
メ
to
ン
keep
ト
an
もあ
eye
る
on
ん
the
だ。
calendar.
なんかそのカレンダーでいろんなイベントがあってトーナメントだとかそのバースデーだと
There are the
か
merchants. Oh,
誕
they're
生日
in
だ
a
と
load of
か
trouble
なん
because
かい
that
ろい
guy
ろある
doesn't
みたい
look
ね。
friendly.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Looks like they are.
でこの辺りはいつもね FE の
And
シ
as
ミュレ
you may
画
have
面とかあ
seen,
んねんね。
the objective here is to
この辺はなんか
defeat the
FE な感じ
commander
だね。ようやく FE
and
な感じ
obviously
が
protect the merchants.
出
That's
てきたけ
pretty
ど。
important.
So you're employing proper flanking maneuvers, which is already, it looks pretty good.
Yes, yes, and that's why I'm really happy that I made Linhardt a cavalier here because that gives me a
さっ
lot
き
of
ソシャル
movement
ナイ
at
ト
my
になってるんですよ
disposal, and I
こい
really
つは
want to be able
こい
to
つを
get over
動
to the
かし
drawbridge
て
over here. Ooh. So first I'm going to use a combat art, then I'll get over to the
ちょっと待って今何や
drawbridge.
った
Combat arts are returning. You might remember them from
Grass
Shadows of
Round って何
Valentia, and
アタ
there are
ッ
a
ク
bunch
だ
of
ね。
new ones in this game as well. So I'm going to go ahead and unleash one.
Hi.
They're very powerful, of course, but they also do
Oh.
lower your weapon
Are they?
durability very quickly. So you can't just spam the combat arts. You have to be very strategic about how you use them.
That is very good to point out.
まあこの辺はあんま変わんない
A lot
な。
of health there. We might get to
Need some
see
reinforcements.
Lenny die.
Oh,
we'll
no.
see
ちょっと
what
ダメージ食らいすぎた。
happens. And because he is a mounted unit, he can move again
ソシャルナイト
after attacking. So I
再起動
can just kind
再
of scoot him away
稼働
from
できる
those enemies, perhaps.
やつだね。
Teacher
で
to the
ベ
rescue.
レ
Yes.
ティーチャーティーチャー。
Hands off my students.
I do love like these battle sequences that it's not just
Oh,
between
shit.
the opponent and your character.
Oh,
There's like
it's,
action and battle happening,
Yumi
so
da
it
ne.
adds
Acha,
that
attack.
immersion to what's happening on the field.
Absolutely. And there's
こ
my
れはなんだ
archer. It's always
これ
important
多
to
分
have
ス
a
キル
good
だよ
archer on
ね。
your team.
ブレイクショットって書いてあるね。
And Ignaz is the best in the business.
なんかちょっとした技もあるっ
Alright,
ぽい。
so I think Linhardt's covered pretty well. He looks like he's going to be safe, so I can go ahead and
Madosho.
start scooting Hubert
これ
and
Madosho だね。
Bernie
あっちゃ
over this way.
She made it out of her room
She
again.
did
I'm so proud of
again.
her.
I'm forcing her out of her
で
room.
これが
but,
平民だね。きっ
well, what
と
I'm
ね
trying
市
to do
民
with
だね。市
Linhardt
民
is to
平民。
move him over to this drawbridge, because if I lower that drawbridge,
こ
then
い
I
つらを
can
助けるって感じなん
get
だろ
these
うね。きっ
merchants
とね。
away from this really mean-looking giant wolf
あ、なん
over
か
here.
獣がいるぞ、獣が。
He's gonna scoot his way closer and closer to them, and I don't want that to happen. So let's do our best to prevent that.
で右にも行って
Meanwhile, while we're doing that over on the left side, here on the right side, I'm gonna try and inch closer to the commander so that we can maybe take him down before he causes any more
鉄の
mischief.
剣かこれ。
Start whittling down their forces.
Yes. And so I like to watch all of the battle animations because they're really beautiful, and as you can see, they actually zoom in on where you are on the map. It doesn't just take you to kind of a generic location, which is
今回の
really
FE
cool.
は
But, for
絵
the
が
sake of
さ
time, I'm going
あ
to
の
try
みたい
and
に
force
さ
myself to skip the
萌え系じゃ
animation.
なくてさ
It's
ちょっと
painful,
かっこいい
but
系だよ
I'll go
ね
ahead and try and do that.
Well, the folks at
あ
home,
の FE のさ
luckily this game
あ
is
の
going to come
IF の
out
やつ
soon,
はさ
so
本
the
当
folks
に
at
やばい
home
よあ
will
れ
be able to experience this
かな
on
り
their
萌え
own
系によ
and
ってて
get
コ
through
ミュニ
all
ケーション
these-
要素
all
も
these
かなり
characters,
結婚までい
experience
け
all
る
these
ぐらいの
battles
やつだ
and
か
dictate how they want to
らあ
play.
れはねなかなか
I do like
まあ
Audrey's
今
to
回の
Audrey's
方
point,
がま
the
だ
camera
その
zooms
点
in
は
when
い
you
いと
engage
思う
an enemy.
僕
And
結構
the
さこ
3D
の等身
environments
高いや
of
つ
the
結構
map,
好きだから
I like the fact that you can adjust the camera angle too. Like if you like the overhead view, like traditional Fire Emblem, or if you want to like
ちょっと
explore
さ
the
キャラクターが大
environment
人
a
っ
little
ぽい
bit.
からさ
Yeah.
僕はそっちの方が好きなんだよな
Yeah,
まあでも
that's
IF の絵
something
も好きだけど
that's
ね
always been a real great thing
Sa
about the
a
Fire
do
Emblem
やってんだ
series is that you can customize your battle to your heart's
あの
content.
跳ね橋
You
を
can
下ろし
decide
て
to
市
skip
民を助ける
animations,
って
turn
い
them
う
on off, all
ミッ
kinds
ショ
of
ンだ
things.
と思う
So, like I said, I love just watching all of those things, but you really don't have to.
ミニ
If
棒
you'd
だっ
rather
て
just
ミニ
get
棒
right to it.
ミニ
Yeah.
棒
Good
あ
job.
あやるや
Hubert.
んなんだこいつは魔導士でも魔導書も使えるのか
think that's the best we can
こいつ
do.
はアーチャーだね。
Oh, look at that. That actually unleashed a gambit. So
Critical.
you can see those guys behind Bernadetta. Those are her battalion who I've assigned to
ダメージ
her.
与えすぎだろ。
Because
72。
I've assigned them to her, she was able to use their gambits, which did her really well here. Was able to defeat that enemy.
Yeah, she
So-
got a crit in that
英語
one
早すぎ
too.
なんだ
And
け
it
ど。
never would have
何言っ
happened
てる
if
か
she
分かんない
hadn't
もう
left
す
her
でに。
room. So proud. Yes, another gambit.
もうここはもう A 見てるだけ
We
でいいよ
might
ね。
just save these merchants after all.
クリティカルでレベルが上が
And
り
I
ましたっ
leveled
てね。
up.
Such power. Truly amazing.
この辺もでも変わんないよね。
It's truly amazing.
なんか倒した後隣にいたら有効が上がるとかさ、その辺はやっぱあんま変わってないね。
All right.
多分隣り合ってれば支援効果が発生するんだろう。
Using my brand new
bridge.
Cavalier, I was able to get over to this bridge
Well
and lower
done.
it for those merchants.
助けると。
So they can run away from that massive wolf, which we haven't actually just mentioned yet, but it
この剣士
covers
いい
like
な。
4
この剣士
spaces
強い
on the
な。
map.
Right.
Like it just shows
17×2 だからね。
how monstrous and massive that character is versus all the
いや、
other
いい
one
ね。
other.
これでもエーデルガルト学級だからね。
incredibly powerful too. It takes a long. Yeah, look.
いや
he's
僕
4
エーデルガルトは多分
spaces.
みんな選ぶから
He takes a
ね
lot to,
エーデルガルトじゃないや
whittle
つに
down
しようか
his
なと思ってん
Yeah,
だ
and positioning is so important in Fire Emblem. At the
あ
end
の
of your
金
turn,
字
you're
架
usually
か
vulnerable to
なんだ
enemy retaliation
あ
depending on
の
what
獅子
position they
青
are.
いやつ
And so these bosses that hit up more
獅子でいい
than
んだっ
one
け
square that really open up just like different possibilities
いや
of
僕さ
positioning.
あの E3 のさ
So
FE
there's
風花
one
の
more
トレーラー
battle
見た
that I'd like to show. So
あれ
I
さ
think
俺
we're gonna
か
go
なり結構
ahead
衝撃
and,
受けたんだけどさ
switch over.
同窓会とか
We're
行
not
って
gonna be able to
さ
defeat this commander today,
血まみれ
but I'm
同
going
窓
to
会
leave
だった
that
じゃん
great pleasure to the
血
viewers
ま
at
みれな
home
同窓
whenever
会
they
で
pick
さ
up the
しかも
game.
僕あん中で一番ねグッときたっていう
So we're
か
going to
す
jump
げえな
right
と思った
into
の
a
がさ
story battle right
あの
now.
なんか
And,
かなり
I
優
jumped
等
into
生
a
な
bookmark
学
here,
級長あ
and
の青いさ
so
獅
I've
子の
already gone
あ
through
の
quite a
なんだろう
bit.
高青
I'll
年
I'll
みたい
just
なやついい
run
んじゃん
through my strategy
なん
so
か
far.
あい
We
つが
started
さ
off
めちゃめ
over
ちゃ
here,
野蛮な
and
感
as
じ
you
にな
can
って
see,
さ
this is
野
a
蛮って言ったらいい
real
なんだろう
labyrinth
ワイルドに
here.
なってさ
So
戻っ
I splitted
あ
my
の帰ってく
units
る
in half. I
感
sent
じな
my
んか眼帯つけてさ
mounted units
全
to
然
have
違うキャラ
higher
やんと
movement
思っ
over
て
this way so that they can
結
kind
構青も
of
面
go
白いなと
through
思った
there and figure things out while
金
my
字
more
架
powerful
の
units went
級長は
over
まだ
here where there
な
were
んて
a
いうの
lot
普
more
通で
enemies and a lot of traps. So now
ロ
we're
ット・オ
over
ブ・トラッ
here.
プスだって
We've opened these doors
まあちょっ
and
と
my
なんか画
mounted
面変わっ
units
ちゃったけ
have
ど多分
made
こ
their
れ
way through
は
this
また
maze. So
途中
we're
経
in
過
a
なんだ
pretty
ろ
good
うね
spot, I think.
And still deploying a flanking maneuver
ちょっと
because
さ
you
っきの
have
さウルフと戦ってほしかったんだけ
them
どさ
on both sides.
窓がドアがあって
And
あれなんで開いた
I
の
was able to open the door here. One thing that I think is
なんで開いたんだよ、
really important to
盗賊じゃな
do
きゃ開けられないんじゃ
when
ないのか
when you're in one of
まあいい
these
や
sprawled out maps is to
だから
kind of
そ
choose
の
a key bearer. So
要はさ
I
同窓
have
会の時
Sylvain
に
here as the key
各
bearer on
級
this
長
side,
が
and
戻っ
whenever
て
there's
く
a
るじ
key,
ゃ
I
ないで
make
す
sure
か
that it gets
あ
over to
の
him
E3 の
so that
トレーラー
I
で
always know
で
who
エー
has
デルガル
the
ト
key.
も
I can make
結
sure
構
that's
さ
the person
なん
I'm
か
sending towards
赤い
the
鎧
doors.
着て俺最初あれ
Right,
別
and,
キャラ
I'm
か
noticing
と思
these
ったんだけ
students
どあ
from
れエー
the
デル
Blue
ガルト
Lion
なの
House.
That's right.
すごい
We're
なん
playing a
か
different house
なんていう
now.
のかな
That's a good call. And this save
殺
file,
伐
we're
とした
playing
顔して
as
たじゃん
the Blue Lion path
あの
and
感
as
じがなんか
female
す
Able
げえな
Guard.
と思って
Or Byleth.
I'm sorry, female
多分
Violet.
相当さっきもエーデルガルト
So
は
many
ディー
names.
プバックグラウンドって言ってた
And
か
we got
It just
another
goes to
かな
show
りの
how many characters there are in this game,
なんだ
so it's definitely
ス
a
トーリーがあ
challenge
る
to
んだ
keep
ろう
track
ね
of.
そのキャラクターの
But
背
as a
後にね
professor, that's my duty.
でそれでさ
Alright, so
僕
I'm
が
gonna
一番
cozy
変
up
貌
to
した
Violet here and use
青
a
の
combat art
要は優
to...
等生キャラクタ
Ooh,
ー
we
的
can-
なやつ
yeah.
が
Let's
め
see
ちゃめ
if
ちゃ
I
野
use
蛮になって
that
帰ってきた感じ山賊みたいになって帰ってき
one.
た
Again, I keep
感じのさ
not
あれが結
skipping
構
the
好きで
battle
さ
animations because
金字架やめて青にしようかなとも思ってる今
What
実
should
は
I do?
Deru, you just be you.
さあまあそれ
And
はさ
here's
てお
my
き
healer. As always,
Healer.
it's so important to keep track of your healer in these
まあなんか
maps
こういう
and
ねあのトラッ
make
プ
sure
が
that they
たく
stay
さんあ
alive
る
so
マ
they can
ッ
help
プ
you
のも
stay alive.
FE なら
Yeah,
で
for
はで
sure.
まあこれは
But
で
as
も
you
あん
had
ま変わん
mentioned
ない
too,
ない
that
つ
it's
も
really important to make sure, especially for this
たださ
map,
僕が気になるのは
to
その
point out
周りにい
which
る
character
要
has
は
the keys, so then
キャ
you're
ラク
not
ターだけじゃ
scrambling
なくて
around
いろ
trying
ん
to
なね
identify where they
あの
are,
兵
but
士み
also
たいなのがいるんじゃ
switching
ん
them around.
あれがどういう風に
All
働いてる
right,
のかよくわかんない
so we're making pretty good work of these folks. And Annette, let's move you over here. She doesn't have quite the same movement as everyone else, but she's a mage, so her ranged attacks are
Mage.
really, really
Ah,
critical because all of my
魔法
mounted
魔法
units,
攻
they
撃が
generally tend to
炸
be
裂するけ
lance
ど
users, so I really need to have
死ん
someone
じゃうな
with ranged attacks on my side over
合わ
there.
ないと魔法に弱いからね
that's how it goes.
And I don't know if you're able to see it, but some of
返る
our
知恵
students here, including Violet, have
ほら
heroes
この
relics.
周り
And
の
those are
兵
very
士たち
special
がど
weapons
う
that you
役に
can
立つの
only
かよ
use
くわ
if
か
you
んない
have the associated crest.
なんか陣形とかはさ
of incredible
トレーラーだと
importance
陣
in
形
this
ある
world.
けど
They determine your status and power.
そ
They're
れが
passed
どう
down
使う
through
のかっていうのが
bloodlines.
いまだに
And
多
so
分
whether you
情
get
報
a
出てないか
crest
ら
and
よ
which
くわかん
crest
ない
you have really determines your position in this world. And maybe not everybody's super happy with that system.
I must steel myself.
強いぞこいつ
I'm just loving how Ash is able to attack those enemies across the wall. Like,
Yeah, we're able to take them down without putting ourselves in too much danger,
Right.
which is really nice.
なんかレベルが上がってる
Oh, my
け
battalion
ど
leveled up.
何レベルかよくわかんないね今
All right, Ash, you did well. Now you get to
普
forge
通の
on
レベ
ahead.
ルとなんか
Proceed with
別に
caution.
指揮官レベルみたいなのがある
I
のかな
promise. I think.
今回だからかなり細かいよねその育成システムだ
Yeah,
けじゃ
let's
な
go
く
ahead
て
and kill the do.
戦闘のシステムもこれ回復した今
All right, thank you, Mercy. Well, let's go back over to this side, and there's a lever here. So let's.
倒せるね
still
And
a few
then-
enemies to take out here.
Uh huh.
フロアカバー
So let's send Sylvain up this way. Take that guy down because he's blocking one of the warp panels I want
倒
to
し
use.
た
Normally, you would need
かっ
to
こいいな
check
これなん
all
か
of
ブ
these
ラック
warp
ナイトみたいな
panels, see
感
where
じ
they take you.
馬が
But
黒い
I just
かっこいい
happen to know which one I want. I'm gonna
You've
go
done
ahead
this
and
これでも
go
ソ
for
シャル
it.
ナイトだ
I've
と思
done
うけ
this
どね
before. Oh yeah, let's use rally because Felix, he's a bit of a downer. He needs
なんか
some
上がったぞ
pep in
パ
his
ワーが
step.
まあこれもでもなんかよくあるよ
And then
ね
we're
相手
all
の
going to move closer to
パラメー
this
ターを上げ
warp
る
panel, which is going to take us where we need to be to get
さっきだぞ
closer to the Death Knight.
こ
To
れは死
sounds
んじゃ
really
うね
friendly,
返り
doesn't
討ち
he?
だね
Yeah.
If we have time, we're going to go and try and say hello to him.
アイロン
Yeah,
ラ
I'm
ン
not,
ス
not so sure if the title
He'll be
Death
happy to say
Knight is.
hi
Yeah,
back.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, his mother should have thought twice before naming him Death Knight,
あワー
maybe.
プした
So just to reiterate to the folks at home that are just tuning in, this is Fire Emblem Treehouses, where you play as a professor to basically encourage students
encourage students
to and just prep them up. You can play however you want. There's a lot of depth in this game. There's a really deep narrative story. All of these characters have their own personality. And right now we're playing a bit earlier in the game where it's before the 5-year jump, which if you tune in yesterday's Nintendo Direct,
5年
got a
後
little bit
っ
of
て
a
いう
preview
感
of
じな
what
んだろう
happens
ねきっ
after
と
that
ね
jump. But
これそこの
this
ストー
game
リー
is,
の
is
さ
really, really cool.
つながりが
We're
よく
really
わかんない
excited
よ
to
ね
show it to you today.
Yeah, and that
なんか要は
was just a taste, what you saw in the trailer. Their stories,
トレーラー
their backgrounds are all
バ
so
ックグラウ
complex.
ンド
You can't
オールソーコンプ
you
レック
can't
ス
tell what's going on until you play the game. So you have a lot to
ゲー
look
ムをプレ
forward
イしてく
to,
れるまで
viewers at
は
home.
言えません
All
がみ
right,
たい
so
な
my key bearer is here at the door.
だから
We're
ま
gonna
あ
go ahead
5
and
年後の話なんだろうか
say
な
hi
同
to the
窓
Death
会
Knight pretty soon. You know what, Sylvain?
まあ
You're,
ちょっと
you're a good man, but I'm gonna go ahead and let your professor do
あー
the
ちょっと待って
hello.
Oh my gosh.
Because Death Knight is very powerful
デスナイ
and
ト
very,
デス
very
ナイトいるぞ
scary.
デスナイト
Risky.
We're all very scared of him.
デスナイト
Let's go ahead and end
要はなん
this
か
turn.
黒幕みたいなやついいんじゃん黒幕みたいな2人がさ炎帝となんだっけなんとか戦士みたいな
And then one thing I want to point out is that
そいつらが
well,
デ
first
ス
I'm
ナイ
going
ト
to
の方がい
defeat
るん
this
だ
enemy, and then I'll point stuff out. But say
結
I
局あいつら
had
がさ全部
really
ス
messed
リ
up
ー
in
スリー
battle,
ハウス
and
の
God forbid, let
Three
one of my
Houses の
students get
あ
defeated.
のやつら
There's
を操っ
actually
て
a
るわけだ
way
から
using
さ
Divine Pulse
彼らは
where
黒
you
幕な
can go
わけですよ
back and you can redo the whole match if you want, or you
でも
can
今回
just go back a
FE
few
みたいに
moves.
さ
And this is obviously very
そのなんだろう
powerful. It's very
なんだっけ
limited, so you have to use it strategically, or you can
黒
choose
と
to
白
just
と
not use it at all and just live with the deaths. But
なんだっけ
it's
白夜王
actually
国
a great way
だ
to
っ
not
け
have
白夜王
to
国だね
reset a
白夜
whole,
と
you know,
アンヤ
30-minute battle if
あと
something
イン
doesn't
ジ
go
ブ
your
ル
way.
キングダム
Yeah.
っ
So it's a
て
neat
あれ
option
3
for
つのストーリーに分か
It's
れて
also
たけど
important to note too that right
今
now
回
you're
はどうなるん
playing
だろう
in the
ね
normal
一つの
mode.
ソフト
I think
で
classic
全部
or
完結し
classic
て
means that,
くれるだろうけどさ
when people die, they stay dead.
どういうふうにその黒幕のストーリーを楽しめる
Divine
んだろ
Pulse
う
is a great
ね
way to get around
ストーリーが
to
分岐するんだった
that.
ら
Yeah, and go and kind of
なんだろう
rethink your strategies.
不幸なストーリーが3つもあるってこと？
Another battalion level up. That's handy.
やだよ俺はそんなの。2つぐらいかな。
Oh
あ、来た。
no.
デスナイト。
You said he was friendly?
Yeah, so
わあ、炎帝だなこれきっと。
Right here.
right here.
Uh-oh.
こいつらが黒幕だね、
Yeah.
絶対。
Right here.
Because this friendly fellow just got a little less
だから
friendly. So,
なん
He
だ
said he was friendly.
yeah.
そのストーリーの分岐がすごい僕は気になる
But,
る。
yeah, I should have pointed out that
FE
not
if だ
only
if の
do
場合
you
は
need to
白
either
や
take
ア
down
ン
the
や
Death Knight,
イン
which
ジ
is
ェムルキングダ
difficult,
ム3
or
つあった
take
け
down
ど
all other
今回の
enemies on
トリ
that
ハウス
map,
イズ
which there
は
were a lot of
一
them.
つそ
You
の
had
な
to
んだ
do
ろ
it in
う
25
学級
turns.
が
Oh my
争う
gosh.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there are conditions and
という
challenges
その
to every
不幸な
battle.
結末のストーリー
Cool.
が
But that was just a
一個あって
little
裏
sneak peek at
なんだ
Fire Emblem Three
その
Houses. As we
なんだろう
mentioned, it's coming out July 26th,
なんだろ
so
う
you won't have to wait long.
本当の
to
ボス
get
み
your
たい
hands
な
on
のを
it.
倒すストーリーが
Thank you
2つ
so
ぐら
much
い
for
あるの
running
か
this through with us.
どういう
and
ふうに分岐していくのかっていうのはすごい
explaining
楽し
everything. So
み
there's
だ
a
ね
lot of content
Story.
for
Yes,
sure
it's
to
a
run
very deep
through.
game.
So
僕らは
thank you so
さ
much
やる側
for,
としては
tuning
そ
in.
の
Uh,
黒幕を倒したいわ
don't
け
go
ですよ
away. We still have a lot more content to show you.
で
Up
それで
next is
3
a
学級がみん
multiplayer
な
mode
こう
of
結
Luigi's
束して
Mansion
さ戦ってほしいわけで、あ、終わっちゃった。ごめん、終わりましたけど、そう、3学級のこうさ、やつらをさ、みんな仲間にして、自分の好きなその生徒を組み合わせて、黒幕たちに挑んでいくっていうストーリーが王道っていうか、一番僕らが楽しみたいところだから、絶対それはあると思うんだよね。それとは別に、その各学級が軸になって進むストーリーっていうのがあって、まあ、それを最後まで進めるとなんかベストなエンドじゃないけど、まあちょっとまあなんだろう、別のエンディングがある。でそれはあんまり完全なるハッピーエンドじゃなくてさっていう風に FE if みたいなストーリーの分岐をするのか、それとももう本当に一本のストーリーでその楽しめるのか、まあどっちなんだろうね。まあ、僕的にはその3学級のさ級長とその好きな生徒を全部組み合わせて黒幕に挑むってやつをさやれればいいんだけどさ、まあねそれが非常に楽しみなんで、まあね続報も Twitter や公式などで見ていきたいと思います。はい、ということで今回は以上になります。ご視聴いただきありがとうございました。